Today I am doing one session in the economics playlist. We will do it in a different way. So if you have seen the YCA research, you will see that we are giving you suggestions, we are giving you motivation to do more research regarding business, market, different functions of business. You can take each of the functions and you can do the research. Their impact on the society, behavioral economics, consumer behavior, then how the market works, functionality, the functions of business, the structure of an institution, and market, then market power, how it is regulated, and all these things. So broadly, when I mention microeconomics and macroeconomics, in micro we can look at household, firm, and all these things, and if we zoom it at a nation level, we will talk about GDP, we will talk about GNP and all these things, unemployment, inflation, different policies, and economic growth, economic development, so all these things we will talk about. But broadly, we will keep talking about all these things, aggregate supply, aggregate demand, equilibrium, and price elasticity, income elasticity, substitution, all these things we will talk about. And if you go through any basic course of economics, any book or any good lecture, you will understand all these things, models, macroeconomic models you can understand, structural, non-structural, large scale, all these things you can understand. But what we are talking about is one thing, economics, how it can be seen in our day-to-day life, how we can do empirical analysis, social, political, and economic analysis, and we can look at the society, we can look at economics. The data will provide, motivation for finance, econometrics. We can look at the political scenario, we will look at choices, we will look at behavior, we will look at economics, optimized resource allocation, for maximum value creation, and for other reasons, public theories, public decision making, consumer choices, and so many other things. You can relate to all these things, marketing and economics and all these things. So social, political, and economic, obviously. And you will see that economic governance we will talk about, because you will see when it comes to administration, business, management, we talk about governance, but here we are talking about economic governance, which I have mentioned many times. Mechanism design is one thing people talk about. When we talk about management science, you will see that MCDM and other processes we have mentioned, you do decision making. So either you can go for qualitative approach, or you can go for quantitative data management science. There are many theories, many techniques with which you can take decisions. So uncertainty, when you have uncertainty, how you take your decisions, there are researches regarding that. Risk, market power, then market regulation, trading, then welfare economics, in all these things, economic growth, economic development. Then if you go to poor areas, villages, you will see poverty and how it is related to economics. So all these things are there, but overall we will see that capital market, labor market I mentioned. So labor market, when we talk about labor market, we will consider unemployment, employment, we will look at the ratios that can give us some insight, some data. Then we will look at human resource management, we can look at industrial relations, and you can relate to the labor market, labor economics, labor law, history, we mentioned it last day when we discussed industrial relations, And if I talk about capital market, the flow of capital, the movement of capital, if I talk about all these things, you will see that econometrics, finance, economics, all these things are happening. So a solid understanding of the economic knowledge or economics will help you to take the right decisions, more optimized decisions, better decisions. You can do better resource allocation, you can look at things, patterns, equity research you can do so many other things, market, if you just look at the market, trade market. So We wanted to do one session on macroeconomics, we wanted to do trade and economics, we wanted to do marketing and economics, as I mentioned last day, But we will keep talking about all these things, but here we are doing it in different ways. Not the basic things, but when you go to the market, you will see that people are doing trading. There is something behind the trading. People are doing a lot of research. How economics can help, how finance can help, how your knowledge can help, You are very good with data and statistics. How you can use the advanced technologies, how you can use the algorithms, how you can use mathematical techniques, statistics, and all these things to have grasp of the data, empirical analysis, then market, then society, then the political scenario, because we are all taking decisions, and economics will help you to take better decisions, to allocate resources. And then if I talk about the flow of things, farm, household, if I talk about the nation level, consumption, production, then your import, export, net exports, we can talk about all these things. And you can get those things anywhere, national income accounting and all these things. But here we are talking about things that can help you learn the things in a better way, that can push you towards advanced research, that can make you more interested in the subject of economics, finance, economics, whatever you want to choose, that can push you to do greater things. It is not like you are doing a mediocre study of economics, but day to day you can look at a lot of things happening. So many people studied behavioral economics, and then it helped consumer behavior and so many other things in marketing as well. So social sciences, qualitative research, quantitative research, both you can do. But what you can do is you can contribute to the literature of economics. You can contribute to the advanced studies, scientific research of economics. So it is not like this and that, only the definitions, but how you can actually see it in real life, how you can understand it, how you can contribute to those things. So you will see that alternate market mechanisms, many people are talking about, analysis of market, asymmetric info, symmetric info, asymmetric info, how you deal with it, Then time series, time varying, volatility. We have mentioned all these things in different places, but here if you want to do deeper research, you will see that price movement across stocks, capital movement, then how you use economics to understand all these things. Game theory, obviously one thing we talk about, and it is having huge impact and significance in economics. Public choice theory and all these things. But if you understand all these things really well, what you can do is you can help in policy making. So macroeconomic policy making, how you can improvise, something happens, shocks and other things that can happen, and how you take the right decision, to come to an equilibrium, or to make it more stable, to deal with the inflation, to deal with other things. So the more you have knowledge about all these things, you can take better decisions. So policy making is another thing where you can play a significant part, right? So labor economics, obviously we talked about. Many people are doing a lot of research regarding climate change, which we will mention, and how you can do a lot of studies in climate change. And if I talk about securities and derivatives, you will see that people have done researches on that as well, options, futures, derivatives. And so there is a great relationship with finance. Some of the researches are old, so maybe you have heard of it somewhere. So when you are studying it, you are seeing that I have already heard of the topic, but at one point of time it was not that known. So people had to do a lot of research, to make it available, to make the literature available, or write a book about it. So when it comes to your contribution, what you can do is you can publish great papers, you can write books, and you can do thorough research, which can do a significant contribution, to the literature of economics. It can help finance, society, the political scenario, marketing, trade, and all these things. So everything is related, The more you understand all these forces playing with each other, you will go for deeper studies, you will go for better research. So this is one video I wanted to do. In the next videos, we will talk about few definitions and how you can learn the basics of all these things and how you can look at places around you, and you will see that those things are happening. People have given it a term, and you can study that, you can observe that. If you have anything to add to it, you can add it. Otherwise, just to understand how everything is working, you can, because why I mentioned it, I will end it with this. If you do it only for theory, if you do it only for a bookish study, it will be there only. But if you want to look at the real life world, if you want to do practical problem solving, practical decision making, so you will see that you can take some really good decisions, a great step for research, you can go for a breakthrough, you can go for a great contribution to the literature of economics and anything, social sciences. So that's why this is the video I did. In the next videos, we will talk about definitions and how we can look at things, and how economics can make you more aware, a better decision maker. It can help in policy making, and you can live a better life using economics.